I thought it would be fun to answer the newbie booktuber tag questions while assembling this bookcase, so let's do it. Please look in the following places for hardware, packs, and legs: underneath the seat, behind the product. Yeah, so it's been so long since I actually bought this that I am actually surprised at what it looks like. Like, I have no idea if this could not even be what I ordered. I wouldn't know, because it's been so long since I ordered it, since I saw this product online, that I'm surprised. Like, it's like receiving a gift from myself in the future. Receiving a gift from my future self. She did a good job. So, why did I start this channel? I love books and storytelling and movies and television, and I do have some amazing friends, but I don't have anyone who geeks out over books and storytelling, or the particular, like, specific books and specific stories that I love. I don't have anyone who geeks out over them to that extent, or anyone who's just like that much in love with storytelling. So I created this channel because I wanted a place where I can, like, just pour out all of the bookish and readerly thoughts and opinions that I have, and some of my, like, boring life stories as well. Also, I really want to encourage women and mothers in particular to be intentional about joy, right? Joyful living. And so for me, books and storytelling are my joy, you know, as are my children, and cooking, and taking long walks, and traveling. And so if you choose to hang around, my goal for this channel is to inspire you to, like, practice joy on a daily basis, and to do that by sharing my, like, quirky, nerdy, introverted, playful experiences. So that's also part of my answer to the second question: what are some fun and unique things you can bring to YouTube? Well, I mean, just like there's only one of you, there are no other Rashida Lucys out in these booktube streets, you know? So I'm bringing me to booktube, the one and only Rashida Lucy. I'm being silly. But if you find another Rashida Lucy, let me know, because if there is a clone of me, then she needs to come over here and help me with these dishes and these children and the I'd also like to explore spirituality. Let's just forget all about the algorithm.
Okay, picture on the shelf, support bar, yes.
What book or series got you into reading, and when did you start reading? So I can't remember a time when I didn't, like, know how to read or love reading. My dad taught me how to read when I was like 4 years old. And I would just read everything. When we went to the dentist's office, I would take down every brochure that they had about teeth, and I would just sit there and read them, and I would take them home, and I would read them in the car. I also spent a lot of time with my great-grandmother growing up, and she would read to me all the time. The Pokey Little Puppy, Little Red Riding Hood, the Berenstain Bears, or Berenstain Bears, and Dr. Seuss, Casper the Friendly Ghost. But the first book that I can remember, I guess it was a series even back then, is Amelia Bedelia. If you don't know Amelia, you ain't living. And she was that clumsy, like, confused maid in all of the children's books, and I just absolutely loved her. I couldn't understand how she could mix up the instructions and just confuse them so much, but it always turned out okay in the end. Like, her story always ended on a good note, even though she totally screwed things up. So I would love to see that story turned into a movie with a diverse cast. Also, I have to mention Goosebumps, because I think I read every last Goosebumps book when I was a kid, and I just remember being so excited when my mom was taking us to Spalding Library in District Heights, and because I would just be able to get the next few books and knew that I would just devour them. Speaking of, if you remember Goosebumps, do you remember Ghost Rider? Did you ever watch that show? That was such a good show about a group of kids that would solve mysteries, and they would get help from this ghost called Ghost Rider, but he would only like communicate with them through books and like writing and stuff like that. So television series, but it was a very readerly like television series. I love that, and I know they have a reboot of it. I haven't watched it yet. What questions would you ask your favorite booktubers? Probably something really weird. Like, how many different tea mugs do you have? What challenges do you think starting a booktube channel will be hardest to overcome? Allowing myself to get into the groove of creating, editing, posting, because so far I have literally filmed the equivalent of like 3 videos and 2 vlogs, and none of them will ever probably see the light of day, because when I start editing, I'm just like also, I would say sharing my thoughts and my journey, even when it's not my thoughts are not popular or my journey isn't necessarily palatable. Because, for example, right now I am reading a book written by an author that many people, very understandably so, are annoyed with, and I get it. I also think that there are aspects of this author's writing that are problematic, but I love the series, and so I want to talk about, and I plan to talk about the book, but I can just sort of hear people saying like, oh, you're promoting this author, or even bringing it up on your channel or reading that book means that you are this or that you don't support that. And that's not the truth for me, but it's like if you were entertaining a man that is like no good for you, right? But he is like so fine, he's got freckles, and he smells like what you think heaven might smell like, and he's so sweet when he's with you, and he's funny and gifted. But again, you know that you have no business with this man, and you can't tell your friends, because they be like, don't do it, girl, don't do it, it ain't worth it, girl. So you creep around with him, and if you're honest with yourself, the creeping it's taboo, and it's kind of fun too, but you know that you probably should not be enjoying this experience, but you are. Where was I going with this? So when it comes to my booktube channel, this book that I'm reading is that fine ass, no good ass man, and you're my friend, and I want to tell you about this man, this book. But I already know what you're going to say, and damn it, I don't want to hear you tell me to stop sleeping with this book. You know what I mean? So the challenge is me like being willing to own my channel and to show up here as I am and say what is true to me, and be true to myself, even if I think you might disagree. I'm glad we're doing this together. I wish you'd pull your own weight, but At least you're here spending time with me. So we've got 3, we've got 2. My Allen key. I have so many Allen keys. Who is Allen? Ooh. Zip ties. Too soon? Where do you read? When I'm at home, I typically read like in my bedroom or right here in the studio or on the floor, you know. Also, I read in the bathroom, but I always put my book down before I finish my business, and then I wash my hands before I pick my book back up again. I also listen to audiobooks in the car when my daughters aren't taking over the radio. This is so short. Why did it look so much taller? What kind of books do you read? My first love is a mystery book, whether it's a cozy mystery or a dark and moody mystery or a literary mystery, which is a term that I just learned, but apparently my favorite subgenre of mystery books is a literary mystery. I also love books that feature dark humor. So like A Little Old Lady is Up to No Good. Can't remember the author's name. And My Sister the Serial Killer by Oyinkan Braithwaite, which I started last year, absolutely loved it, but put it down and didn't get back to it before I had to return it to the library, but I will definitely be reading this year. And I also love books, romantic suspense. And I also love a good like contemporary fiction, literary fiction, which I can never really tell the difference between those when I'm reading them. Something light and funny like Eleanor Oliphant is completely fine, which when you finish the book, you know that it wasn't really a light book, but it was a light read. Why do you love reading? I love getting wrapped up in a new world, quite frankly. And also I love when I read about a character that on the surface I have nothing in common with that character, and then as the story unfolds I just connect with the character on like a really deep level, because it makes me feel like I've like experienced something or really gotten to know a person in a really safe way. I was going to say distant, but sometimes it doesn't feel distant. Sometimes you feel like, with a good book, you feel like you're right there in the story with that person. And also, I just love intrigue. I love clues that need to be put together, even if it's not specifically a mystery that I'm reading, just any book that has this element of intrigue and mystery to it. So, last question. What are you most excited for? I am like just so excited to be joining this like vibrant, amazing community of booktubers. I'm most excited about that first indication that what I've created here on my booktube channel has connected with the people that my content is truly meant for and touch them in the same way. And that's it.